Now, there are so many different supplements out there that potentially a person could take. I'm going to talk about 7 remedies today that I have personally observed worked in the majority of the cases. There is a more comprehensive or complete list that you can get, which you can get access to. I'll put that link down below. But today we're going to talk about the 7 that address very specific conditions, and they work the great majority of the time. And this basically is based on personal observation, as well as myself taking some of these supplements. And I do also want to mention, I do not sell any of these products, okay? So I'm not trying to sell you any products. These are just things that I found that work. So let's dive right in. Number 1, AHCC. And I'm going to just kind of leave it like that. I'm not going to get into the long names. You can look those up, and I'll put those links down below. But AHCC is a shiitake extract that has some very special properties, okay? What it does is it helps enhance your natural killer cells. Natural killer cells are a part of your immune system that attacks cancer and viruses. And there's over 100 randomized control studies just on this one supplement right here that creates some really interesting effects on many things, including the HPV virus, the human papilloma virus, which, by the way, has a very evil intention of kind of weakening your natural killer cells, which basically shuts down your forces that are supposed to defend you. So it kind of weakens your natural killer cells, so now it can survive. But the shiitake extract comes in there and actually counters that and allows an enhancement of your natural killer cells to the point where you can actually clear out the HPV virus out of your body. So it's really good for anything related to the HPV, including congenital warts, different warts in your body, which are benign tumors, and many other things related to a lowered immune system. Certain people who are on chemo take it to help build up their immune system. It's also used as a really good anti-inflammatory. It's also good for other viruses that I cannot mention on YouTube. And it's very powerful to improve your autonomic nervous system. In other words, the sympathetic nervous system allows you to adapt to stress. Well, apparently the research from this remedy improves your ability to adapt to stress, as well as helping you recover from stress. That's called the parasympathetic nervous system. So it helps you get into a calm state, helps you sleep, but it also helps you adapt to stress. So that's just a few cool effects from AHCC. Number 2, TUDCA. What is TUDCA? Well, TUDCA is a synthetic compound. Okay, it's probably one of the, well, there's actually 2 synthetic compounds that I do recommend that don't seem to have any side effects. One would be benfotiamine for peripheral neuropathies, which I didn't even include on this list, but the other is TUDCA. And the reason they made it synthetically is because TUDCA is bear bile. And there's been a problem in the past with killing too many bears to extract this bile salt to take it as a remedy. It's an older remedy, and it has some very interesting, very powerful effects. I'm only going to cover a couple. I did a whole video on this before, but the main thing that it'll do, it'll thin the bile through your bile ducts. Okay, so many people develop kidney stones because the bile material in their ducts become thickened because they're losing certain factors in there. So you have this sludge that kind of backs up these bile ducts, and that backs up into the liver, and it creates jaundice, and it creates all sorts of problems, like even like forming gallstones, and like all sorts of abdominal pain and bloating and pancreatitis and all sorts of digestive issues. In fact, there's something that happens when someone goes on a detox, when they actually use natural remedies to kill off certain like microbes, even biofilms, that then can lead to like different side effects. And one of the side effects is the bile ducts get jammed up and things start backing up into the liver. And the person has all sorts of terrible complications because the liver cannot detox anymore. When you plug up those ducts, you actually create a severe backup into the liver, which can then create all sorts of inflammation in the liver and terrible side effects. So TUDCA comes to the rescue and thins the bile ducts and allows things to go through freely, giving the person great relief with many different things, including right shoulder pain and pain that goes up into the neck or up into the head, which is a problem I had for 12 years because I had no idea the connection of this area right here underneath my rib cage in the bile ducts and my right shoulder pain and my headaches. So TUDCA is a very good remedy to give someone for anything related to liver, gallbladder, as well as many other things. But I always recommend it when you tried everything and nothing works, then you give the person TUDCA, and it seems to solve the case. The way you want to take it is 2 in the morning on an empty stomach and 2 in the afternoon on an empty stomach. You don't want to take it necessarily with food because it's going to help break down the fats in the meal. So you want to have it work on an empty stomach. So that's number 2. Number 3, natto kinase. This is an extract from soy. And as much as I'm against soy, this extract has some fascinating, powerful effects on dissolving fibrous tissue, okay? It's an enzyme to break down clots in the body, and fibrin, which is part of a clot, as well as part of a clogged artery. So in other words, if someone has a clogged artery or they clot easy, this might be a very good natural remedy to help break up that blockage and at least the protein formation in that clot, because a clot is composed of protein, okay, fibrous protein, which that addresses, cholesterol, and calcium, okay, calcium. And just as a side note, vitamin K2 is good to actually get rid of this excess calcium that can build up in the arteries. But natto kinase is one of my favorite remedies for anything related to a clogged artery. All right, the next one is called NAC, N-acetylcarnosine. So this remedy is really good for cataracts, and you would want to get it in a drop. You want to get NAC drops, okay? Now, typically, this compound right here does not penetrate the tissue, the eye tissue. So NAC is really good for cataracts, especially if they're new cataracts. And again, just to remind you, I have a comprehensive list of all the supplements that I think really, really work that you should know about on my website. And I recommend that you download this comprehensive document when we're done with this video. All right, number 5 is choline. Choline is one of the best remedies for a fatty liver, okay? If you look down at your gut and you see it sticking out and you no longer can see your feet because your belly is sticking out, you have a fatty liver. One of the things you should do is to take choline. And just so you know, the food that has the most choline is eggs, egg yolk. And so eating eggs can help you with a fatty liver. But choline specifically will help remove fat from the liver. And choline is a part of bile salts, FYI. Okay, so that's choline. The next one is colostrum. Colostrum is a supplement that you can get, and if you can find it from a sheep instead of a cow, it might work a little bit better because there could be less things that a person is allergic to. But colostrum is part of the secretion into milk initially when that milk is first released. It has all sorts of immune properties. It also has probiotics, but it's something that helps build the immune system. And so it's really, really good for people that have been on prednisone too much and have destroyed their immune system. It's really good for people who have a compromised immune system. Let's say, for example, they have HIV, or if a person's under massive sustained stress for many years, or someone who has a lot of different antibiotics over a period of time, or if someone just has chronic inflammation. Okay, you want to take colostrum. I would highly suggest you start out taking a little bit at a time so you don't have an immune reaction, not that you're going to have that, but whatever the dosage is, I would take maybe a quarter of that, take it before you go to bed, okay? And you slowly increase it. Only contraindication that I know for this is if you have an allergy to casein, milk, protein, then there might be an issue. All right, so that's colostrum. And number 7 is called D-mannose, okay? D-mannose helps to bind with E. coli in your bladder. So it's really good for UTIs. If you know anyone that has UTIs, put them on this. It seems to work the majority of the time. Now, I have a lot more of these natural remedies, the ones that are really effective, on my website. I put a link down below. Go ahead and download them so you can keep them if you need them or you know someone that needs them.